Kia ora, Aotearoa. Welcome to your latest national weather forecast. Well, it's been a sunny day for most of us across Aotearoa. Maybe some showers up north passing through as the day goes on and down south as well. But for the bulk of the country, beautiful clear skies. But I just want to turn our attention for a moment out to the west. We see this cluster of clouds on the way, and that tells us that there is a weather system that is going to be affecting us. At this point, it looks like Thursday into Friday, some possible severe weather, but more information about that is coming up soon. So let's look at the rest of today. We've got this high pressure system sitting out there to the north, so fairly settled weather for most of us. Those showers up north are expected to start easing later in the day, but for the rest of us, actually, those calm conditions look to continue. Into the overnight period, however, we see out west some showers starting to set up, and that is ahead of that next weather system. It's coming with some winds with it as well, so we'll also start to see those winds starting to pick up. But because it is still mostly a clear night for many of us, temperatures are still dropping down fairly low. It's been quite chilly over the last few mornings, and that continues in parts of the Canterbury Plains. -2 in Christchurch and other parts. In the inland areas, we could also see another fine and frosty start. And similarly, for the North Island, a chilly start to the day. Even places like Auckland, parts of Northland, quite a cold start. And we could even see some fog patches in parts of Auckland, parts of the Waikato. So definitely do keep an eye out for that. So back to that severe weather information. That weather system does look like it brings some possible heavy rain, some possible strong winds. So we have got some heavy rain warnings and watches. Those warnings are mostly for the ranges where we'll see very high rainfall accumulation, about 200 to 250 millimeters of rain for some places. But even away from the ranges, we could see some high rainfall accumulations as well. In addition, we've also got some strong wind watches in place, some quite strong winds expected. And this is the state of play at the moment. As the time goes on and as the system comes closer, we could see other areas being added to these watches and warnings. So do keep an eye on MetService.com for more information. So back to tomorrow, it is going to be all about that next weather system approaching. Like we saw, some rain coming in, some strong winds as well. But for the North Island, this ridge of high pressure keeps things fairly settled, maybe just some showers here and there. So let's take a closer look at what we're expecting. Up north, a little bit of partly cloudy conditions, some showers expected out there, but for everywhere else, pretty fine conditions and some of that cloud increasing as the day goes on. Out east, things are looking fairly fine. Even the temperatures will reflect that. We'll see that in a moment. Down south for us here in Wellington, however, a windy day again on Thursday. So let's have a look at those temperatures we see in the east where we saw those sunny skies. 17 degrees expected in Gisborne, Napier, and even up north, Auckland not looking too bad at 16. Other parts of the country fairly average, of the North Island, fairly average for this time of year, and 14 degrees for us here in the capital. Then looking at the South Island, some showers to start off with in the west, very quickly turning to rain as that system comes onto the country. It is quite slow moving, so it's looking like quite a period of wet weather out there. For other places, much more fine to start off with. As the day goes on, however, we do start to see that cloud pushing over the rest of the island. And by the end of the day, some of those showers making their way onto Bulla, parts of Nelson, and in the afternoon and evening, even parts of Otago and Southland. So looking at the temperatures expected tomorrow, again, along the east, not a bad story, 16 degrees in Christchurch, and out west, maybe a little bit cooler due to that cloud cover, around 13 degrees, and even cooler in those inland places. So let's look ahead at Friday. We still see that frontal system with all of that wet weather moving very slowly up the South Island, even spilling some of that rain over to the eastern parts. As we said, some more areas could be added to those watch and warning areas. But by the end of the day, things slowly starting to clear out. And that front is now knocking on the door of the North Island, which means by Saturday, it is looking like a wet day for the North Island. Still a windy day in parts of the North Island as well. But behind that system, things actually clearing out pretty quickly. So not a bad story either. That's all I have for you for today. Ma'atewa.